We need more new quotes. Julie wants to get those two so they can be done.
In here. Do you want me to stay in here or do you want me to do it from down here?
Stay in here. Take your pop.
Well, hang on, I got the JIS.
The judge is trying to log.
She wants to be
Here, please.
Is that the judge up in the left corner?
Yeah.
I have to connect to the printer if you're trying to print.
I'm gonna be permanently, oh shit. Let me in.
Well, that's the wrong street on.
Melnichenko, Your Honor.
Detective Madonia, are you swearing out Detective Zwickers?
Yes.
All right, is Mr. Melanchenko in the room?
Yes, he is.
All right, you ready, Heather? Calling case number 21-587, Andrew Robert Melanchenko. Detective, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
If you could state the facts for me, please.
Your Honor, on January 29th, 2021, Andrew Melanchenko was stopped for a civil infraction at Gratiot near Topher. Andrew consented to a search of his person and vehicle. Officer Reederhole searched the vehicle. He located suspected heroin in the center console. Andrew was arrested and transported to East Point Police Department for processing. His vehicle had no insurance at the time of the stop. The heroin was field tested and showed a positive result.
Court finds probable cause, sign the complaint warrant. I do see the complaint is signed. Mr. Melanchenko, can you state your name for the record, please?
Andrew Robert Melanchenko.
Thank you. Counselor, can I have you state your name and your P number?
Be my pleasure. My name is Neil Rockine. My P number is 48618, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Are you waiving formal reading?
We do waive formal reading, and we'd ask the court to stand mute to the charge.
Thank you. Mr. Melanchenko, today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned as your retained attorneys indicated. I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what potential penalties are. However, you are entitled to certain rights. You are entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have your attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. You're also entitled to have a probable cause conference held within 21 days from today's date. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, if you're found guilty of this charge or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Detective, can you give me a background, please?
He has no warrants. He's not on probation or parole, and per his criminal history, he has no prior arrests.
You have a bond recommendation?
I'll leave it to the court's discretion.
Thank you. Counselor, you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor. He's 23 years old. He has no prior criminal history, particularly related to drugs. He lives with his father. His father is actually outside the courthouse to pick him up. And I believe that he is a high school graduate. He attended at one point some college, although he hasn't finished college. He's currently employed. He actually raised Herbert. And I know that he has some designs on in getting into some additional, maybe more complex careers, but he has the capacity to earn. I would ask the court, given all those factors, to issue a PR bond.
I won't do a PR bond. I'll do the fact what's alleged in count one of the complaint is a 4-year felony. I will do a small monetary amount of $5,000 cash surety, 10%. We will bring them back. February 16th at 1 p.m. So are you still residing on Carlisle Plank in Clinton Township?
No, I'm living with my parents currently at 43481 Salt Creek Drive. I had told the officers about that.
And what's the zip code there?
48038.
And do you have a cell number?
Yes.
And what is that?
586-230-3054.
Hey, sir, should you be able to post that's where your new Zoom notice along with the court date's going to get mailed to, okay? All right, you have any questions for myself or your retained attorney?
Is my bond able to be posted at $500?
Yeah,
Correct.
I'll talk to your dad about that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead and tell the judge your name.
Sir, what's your name?
Okay. My name is Eric Lamar Coates.
Is Detective Showers in there?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, calling case number 21-603. Eric Lamar Coates, detective, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead and state the facts.
Yes, Your Honor. On 1/30/21, officers Holder, Rebar, and Deckert responded to a report of a black SUV that was parked over the curb near the intersection of Roslyn and Norton with the driver passed out behind the wheel. Upon arrival, officers located the running black Jeep Grand Cherokee, Michigan plate, Edward Charles Lincoln, Paul Charles, with driver Eric Coates asleep behind the wheel, and a strong odor of intoxicants from Coates, who was slurring his speech. Coates refused standard field sobriety testing and PBT and was arrested. Coates refused chemical breath test and a blood draw was performed. Coates' license is currently suspended, and he was convicted of DWS and OWI on 9/19/13 in Third Circuit and OWI second on 12/11/2000 out of 16th Circuit.
Court finds probable cause, sign the complaint more, and I do see that the complaint is signed. Mr. Coates, can you state your name for the record?
Eric Coates.
Counselor, can I have you state your name along with your P number?
Good morning, Your Honor. Excuse me. Good afternoon, Your Honor. May it please this honorable court, Charles Longstreet II, P68205. Appearing on behalf of Mr. Eric Coates, we waive the full reading and stand muted to the charge.
Thank you. Mr. Coates, today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned as your retained attorneys indicated. I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged.
When it is your court.
Today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned as your retained attorney indicated. I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what potential penalties are. You are entitled to certain rights. You are entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have your attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. You're also entitled to have a probable cause conference to be held within 21 days from today's date. What's alleged in count 1, operating while intoxicated, should you be found guilty of that charge or any lesser included offense, Secretary of State can take licensing sanctions. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, found guilty of these charges or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, Mr. Coates?
Yes.
Thank you. Detective, can you give me a background, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm showing no active holds for Mr. Coates. I am showing a CCH that dates back to 1988 with a handful of narcotics and OWI convictions. I see several driving infractions as well, Your Honor. I would ask that scram tether be a condition of bond.
All right, thank you. Counselor, do you want to be heard on bond?
I do, thank you. Good afternoon again, Your Honor. My name is Attorney Charles Longstreet II on behalf of Mr. Coates. Mr. Coates is a 50-year-old lifetime resident of the state of Michigan and current resident of the city of East Point, where he lives at 23100 Schoner in the city of East Point. My client is a single father, and he is the father of 2 sons, he is the financially sole responsible person for those 2 children. My client is gainfully employed, working 40 to 60 hours a week for the Detroit Land Bank, where he cleans homes and preps them for sale. My client does have a prior criminal history. Again, however, none of it is violent. He hasn't had any contact with the criminal justice system since 2013. The defense will respectfully request a personal recognizance bond on my client's behalf, and we would submit to random alcohol screening.
Okay, I can't do a personal bond due to the fact this is his third offense. We'll do a small monetary amount of 5,000 cash surety, 10% with a scram tether. We'll bring him back for his probable cause conference February 16th of this year at 1 p.m. Mr. Coates, if the court finds out anyway that you either block the scram tether or remove it without a court order, the court will revoke your bond and remand you into custody until the matter is concluded. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. What's a scram
And that'll
tether?
be out of house arrest.
Okay. Excuse me?
And your attorney indicated you're still, I have an old address from Grayton in the city of Detroit. Are you living at 23100 Shaner and East Point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a cell number, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is it?
That'd be 586-359-3930.
Okay, sir, that's where a new notice is gonna get mailed to, okay?
Okay. I got that in my property. Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck, sir.
I'm sorry, did you say you have
Thank you.
$500 in your property? Because I can bond you out now.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, thank
He's
you.
gonna need the scram tether before he gets released as well,
I understand it. Thank you.
okay? All right,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Bye.
So I get scram tether.
Mr. Foster.
So what's your last name?
Foster.
Sign over.
Foster's your last name?
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Calling case number 18EA06043, Calvin Ulysses Foster. Sure, state your name for the record.
Calvin Ulysses Foster.
Counselor, can I have you state your name for the record, please?
Thank you, Your Honor. For the record, Julie Haleo on behalf of Mr. Foster as the arraignment attorney. I did speak with Mr. Foster on both files. I did indicate to him that I was not clear if he was actually arraigned on the 2018 file, but I did read him what the charges were and the possible penalties, as well as the new file. He understands that he'll wait for more readings to do the same. He does want court-appointed counsel, and I did discuss his advice of rights. I'll address time when the court is ready.
All right. Also calling case number 21-602, Calvin Ulysses Foster. Detective, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
If you could state the facts for me.
Your Honor, on January 30th, 2021, Kelvin Foster was stopped at 8 Mile and Gratiot for a civil infraction. He verbally identified himself as Kelvin Foster. A check of his operator's license showed 31 current suspensions. Kelvin has a prior driving while license suspended conviction on April 30th, 2015 out of Utica, Shelby Township. Foster was searched instant to arrest, and Officer Ziski located 4 pills that were identified through drugs.com as Xanax, a Schedule 4 narcotic. Foster has no prescription for the pills.
All right, the court finds probable cause, sign the complaint warrant. I do see the complaint is signed. Mr. Foster, today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned. As your arraignment attorney indicated, I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what potential penalties are. However, you are entitled to certain rights. You're entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. You're also entitled to have a probable cause conference held within 21 days from today's date. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, if found guilty of this charge or any lesser included offense, that could be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, Mr. Foster?
Yes, ma'am.
Detective, can you give me a background, please?
Your Honor, as you're aware, he has a warrant out of the 38th District Court on these new charges. He's got 8 traffic warrants out of the City of Detroit, traffic warrant out of the 40th District, and another traffic warrant out of the 37th District. His criminal history, 2014, he pled guilty to a home invasion second. 2015, pled guilty to another home invasion second. He has an unarmed robbery that was taken under Haydett, along with a weapons carrying concealed. I do have some questions. He was driving a vehicle that was registered to his aunt who lives in Georgia, so I do have some concerns about his ties to out of state.
Okay. Counselor, do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Foster is 27 years of age, lives in the city of Detroit and has his entire life. He currently resides there with his girlfriend of 2.5 years. He is working full-time at Case Logistics in Detroit as a laborer, and he's been working there consistently for the last 2 years. From what he indicated, he is not on any probation or parole, not aware of any bench warrants. When I asked him why it took so long to take care of this 2018 file, basically he indicated that he didn't have the money and he was scared to show up to court. So I would ask that if the court would be willing to give him a personal bond or at least a nominal cash bond, that would be reasonable for him to post on both files.
All right, I can't give him a personal bond due to the fact he has close to 10 traffic warrants, which indicates he doesn't like showing up to court. On the state case 21-602, court's going to do a $7,500 cash surety, 10%. That is based off of all the additional warrants he has still outstanding. We're going to bring him back for a probable cause conference February 16th at 1 p.m. and on the local charge 18EA06043. The current bond is sitting at $7,500 cash surety, 10%. I will lower that to $5,000 cash surety, 10%. This file here, we're going to bring them back for March 9th for a pretrial at 8 a.m. Mr. Foster, what is a proper mailing address for you?
2917 East Larned.
And what's the zip code?
48234.
And do you have relatives that reside out of state?
Yes, I do.
On the felony charge 21-602, sir, you're not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's written permission.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if the court finds out anyway that you leave the state of Michigan without the court's written permission, the court's going to revoke your bond and we're going to remand you into custody until the matter is concluded. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have 2 court dates. On the state charges, February 16th at 1 o'clock, and on the local charge, you're going to come back March 9th at 8 o'clock. That'll be done via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, due to the fact you have warrants out of multiple jurisdiction, it is your responsibility, should you get removed from Macomb County Jail to another county jail, you need to provide the court where you're at so that we can do the appropriate paperwork to get you here so that we can conduct our hearings. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think
Your Honor, this is
What's your
Mr.
last
Malone.
name? Who is
Malone.
this?
Malone.
What's your last name?
Malone, ma'am. Myron Malone.
On case number 19-4123 and case number 19-4118, Myron Dwayne Malone. Mr. Malone, state your name for the record.
Myron Dwayne Malone Jr.
Counselor?
Thank you. For the record, Julie Halewa, on behalf of Mr. Malone as the arraignment attorney. I did speak with Mr. Malone about both files and what the charges and possible penalties are in both files. He understands that he'll waive formal reinstatement mute to the same. He is requesting court-appointed counsel, and I did discuss his advice of rights and his right to a preliminary exam. I'll address them when the court is ready.
Thank you. Mr. Malone, today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned as your arraignment attorney indicated. I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what the potential penalties are. You are entitled to certain rights. You are entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have your attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. You're also entitled to have a probable cause conference held within 21 days from today's date if you're out on bond, probation, or parole. If you're found guilty of these charges or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, Mr. Malone?
Yes, ma'am.
Detective, can you give me a background, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm showing 2 active holds for Mr. Malone, one out of Novi and one out of 16th Circuit Court. That's going to be a no bond for domestic violence. Looking at Mr. Malone's criminal history, he does have a handful of domestic violent convictions, as well as resisting and obstruct police.
The one that nobody said, a hold of nobody what?
He's traffic.
Oh, yeah. That's old, though. That was.
You're good.
Detective Showers, on the no bond hold, do we know, is it the same victim in that matter?
I do not know, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Counselor, do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Malone is 31 years of age. He lives in the city of Detroit with his children ages 2 and 3, and he's been there for about 3 years now. He is working full-time at Davis and Clinton Township, and he's been there for about 8 months working on the assembly line. Your Honor, I am asking, I know that these are serious charges. I would ask for a 10% provision on both files with the condition of no contact with the complaining witness. He indicates that even though these date back to 2019, he has not had any contact with Ms. Kergel, and he wanted me to address to the court that he believed that one of the files was actually dismissed by Judge Gerds. However, I'm really not sure what the status is, but I did speak with him about both files. So I am asking for 10% provision on the bond set.
Okay, well, my only concern is he's got a 5-year felony for the home invasion on the 19-4123, and then he's got breaking and entering on file 19-4118, in addition to domestic violence with the same victim. Mr. Malone, the matter that you have pending out of circuit court, who's the victim in that matter?
That was Michelle Cargill. That's the victim.
Is that the one pending out of circuit court where you have a no bond?
I never had anything like that, ma'am.
Mr. Malone.
I can't hear you.
Mr. Malone, that's not helping you.
Excuse me, ma'am. I haven't got in trouble since 2018, so I really don't know, ma'am.
Don't say that. Don't.
I really don't.
Talk.
I don't have. I don't have.
Mr. Malone, stop. On case file 19-4123, the court's going to do a 10,000 cash surety, 10%. I am going to require a GPS tether. He's not to have any direct or indirect with Michelle Cargill. Detective, can you give me her residence?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Carvel currently resides at 23098 Cushing Avenue here in East Point, Your Honor.
You're not to be within 1,000 feet of the victim and or residence. You're not to consume any alcohol, non-prescribed drugs. You're not to possess any weapons. That includes knives and bullets. You're not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's written permission.
Yes, ma'am.
And then on case file 19-4118, the court's going to do a 15,000 cash surety, 10%. That's based off of your outstanding warrants, same or similar conduct. We're going to bring you back for a probable cause February 16th at 1 on both files. going to be the same conditions from file 19-4123. Now, Mr. Malone, the court's going to advise you, if you violate any of the conditions of bond, the court's going to revoke your bond and is going to remand you into custody until the matter is concluded. Do you understand that, Mr. Malone?
I do.
You don't have any children with Miss Cargill, do you?
Yes, ma'am. I have two.
Okay, so that means you're going to need a third-party person.
That's how we've been doing it ever since 2018.
Okay. I'm just advising you, sir, at some point, you got children involved, you're gonna have to learn how to get along, all right?
We've been getting along, man. That's why I haven't been into any police contact until now, until they brought this up, this little warrant. So I don't really, that just, both of them cases got threw out because she was here with
No.
Paris here.
No. You're all set.
Here. Scroll all the way down there. Step right to the camera.
Good morning, Your Honor.
What's your last name, young man?
Hall, Hall.
Mike?
Yes.
On case number 21-517, Ike Hall, the fifth detective, you're still under oath. If you could state the facts.
Yes, Your Honor. On 2/1/21, Officer Reader Hole conducts a traffic stop of a silver Chevy Traverse, Michigan plate Edward George Tom, 9420 for an equipment violation and make contact with driver Ike Hall. A check of Hall and Lane SOS returned his driver's license is currently suspended, and he had a valid arrest warrant out of 43rd District Court for DSS. A search of the vehicle returned brass knuckles inside the center console.
Court finds probable cause, sign the complaint and warrant. I do see the complaint is signed. Sir, can you state your name for the record?
Ike Hall.
Counselor?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Julie Haley on behalf of Mr. Hall. I have discussed this case with Mr. Hall. He understands the charges, possible penalties. He'll wait for more reading, stand mute to the same. At this time, Your Honor, he has indicated that he does want to retain an attorney, so no court-appointed counsel will need to be processed. We also discussed his advice of as well as his right to a preliminary exam. I'll address bond when the court is ready.
All right, thank you. Sir, today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned as your arraignment attorney indicated. I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what the potential penalties are. However, you are entitled to certain rights. You're entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. You're also entitled to have a probable cause conference to be held within 21 days from today's date. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, if you're found guilty of these charges or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Detective, can you give me a background, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm showing the only active hold on for Mr. Hall is the 43rd District Court for DSS. I do not see any convictions on a CCH for weapons offenses, although he does have one conviction for domestic violence in 2015.
Counselor, you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Mr. Hall is 26 years of age. He lives in the city of Warren with his mother and has been there for 7 years. He is working full-time to at a company called Transform, where he loads parts and has been there for about 8 months. Your Honor, at this time, I've spoken with my client, and if he's given a personal bond, he does not have any issue with no possession of any weapons or bullets or anything of that nature. So that's what we would ask for, Your Honor.
All right, well, I can't give him a personal bond due to the fact he has an outstanding warrant out of 43rd District Court. Court will do a small nominal bond of $3,500 cash surety, 10%. We're going to bring him back for his probable cause February 16th at 1 o'clock. So are you still living on Lorraine, apartment 19 in Warren?
Yes.
You have a cell number?
313-742-7323.
All right, sir. Should you be able to post, that's for your new notice along with Zoom instructions will get mailed to, okay?
Okay.
You're all set. Have a good day.
That's fine. Everybody else hasn't been arraigned?
Okay, we'll open.
Okay. Never know, after everyone's done. You don't have any other? Well, we haven't done it.
Who hasn't been arraigned yet? All right, whoever has been arraigned, come on. What?
You guys.
Yeah, whoever has been arraigned.
We're all good. Yeah. Be quiet. All right? Yeah, step on it. Just wait right here.
Have you been arraigned?
What's the last name?
Morgan.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Morgan.
Okay. On case number 21-EA00552, Trevor Antonio Lee Morgan. Sir, state your name for the record.
Trevor Morgan.
Counselor?
Your Honor, for the record, Julie Haleo on behalf of Mr. Morgan. Your Honor, I did speak with Mr. Morgan about the charges and the possible penalties before the court. He understands that he'll waive formal reading, stand mute to the same. We also discussed his right to have court-appointed counsel, and that's what he's requesting. We also discussed his advice of rights, and I'll address bond when the court is ready.
All right, thank you. Mr. Morgan, today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned. As your arraignment attorney indicated, I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what the potential penalties are. However, you are entitled to certain rights. You're entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, found guilty of this charge or any lesser included offenses, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Detective, can you give me a background, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm showing Mr. Morgan has no active holds. The only assaultive crime that he was arrested for was back in 2018 for an assault and battery, in which he was the charge was dismissed.
Was the incident on Michael's Street, Detective?
Your Honor, I do not know.
Counselor, do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Morgan is 21 years of age. He lives in the city of East Point with his mother and 3 other siblings. My understanding, the incident involved one of the siblings, one of the brothers, who is a complaining witness. And I did discuss that with Mr. Morgan, that he will not be able to have contact with that brother or be able to return to the home in East Point. He does indicate to me that he will be able to stay at a friend's house who also lives in the city of East Point, so that will not be an issue for him. He is working full-time at Syntec in the city of Warren, and as far as what Mr. Morgan indicated, he is not any probation or parole, no bench warrants that he's aware of. So I would ask for a personal bond with the condition of no contact with that brother.
All right, due to the fact he has no warrants, I will do a $5,000 personal bond. There will be a no contact provision. He's not to have any contact with his brother. He's not to return back to 18485 Michael. He's not to consume any alcohol, non-prescribed drugs. He's not to possess any weapons. That includes knives and bullets. He's not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's written permission. We're going to bring him back for a pretrial March 9th of this year at 8 a.m. Mr. Morgan, what's going to be a mailing address for you?
I'm not certain.
All right.
I want to say
No,
22425.
don't guess. I'm going to give you 72 hours.
Okay.
Contact the court with the proper mailing address. It is going to be part of one of your bond conditions.
Okay. I mean, can I get it sent to 18485 Michael? Or,
No.
I mean, I know I can't have no contact, but you got my mom give it to me?
No.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a cell number?
Yes.
What is it?
586-859-3619.
All right, sir. If the court finds out in any way you violated any of the conditions, the court will revoke your bond and you'll be remanded into custody until the matter is concluded. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck.
Thank you. 5,000 personal bonds. I don't have to pay.
Correct. Amen. Cameron,
Stand.
what's your last name?
Parker.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Parker.
On case number 20 EA 02519, Brandon Trevon Parker. Sir, state your name for the record.
Brandon Trayvon Parker.
Counselor?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Julie Haley, on behalf of Mr. Parker, who's appearing by Zoom. I believe he has a second file as well. It looks like both are show cause matters for failure to appear and failure to pay. I discussed this with Mr. Parker. At this time, Your Honor, what he's requesting is court-appointed counsel, have the matter set for a new date, and then I'll adjust bond when the court is ready.
All right, I just found the other file. It's 20 EA 03404, Brandon Trevon Parker. Mr. Parker, today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned as your arraignment attorney indicated. I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what potential penalties are. You are entitled to certain rights. You are entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, found guilty of these charges or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Detective, does he have any holds?
Yes, Your Honor, he does. He's got one hold out of Detroit for traffic and one out of Roseville for domestic violence.
Counselor, do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Parker is 19 years of age. He lives in the city of East Point. He indicated that he does have orientation for a new job at 4 o'clock today, which I'm not sure that he'll make it, but he did indicate that he had that lined up. When I asked him why he didn't take care of these matters, he indicated that he simply just didn't have the money and was unable to really produce that. So he did not take care of them. I know that he does owe money to the court on both of these files. I am asking for a personal bond or at least a nominal cash bond.
Okay. We're going to bring him back for contempt on case file 20 EA02519. On March 9th at 8 a.m. On this file, sir, I'm going to let you go on a $5,000 personal bond. And file 20 EA03404, we're going to bring you back for a pretrial date March 9th. However, I am going to do a small nominal bond on this one of $5,000, cash surety 10%, and that is based off of, you have 2 other bench holds. Mr. Parker, you need to show up on your court dates. Courts don't have a crystal ball. We don't know you're having financial problems until you show up on your court date and you express that to the courts, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. You got silly offenses before the court, and it sounds like you have more of a serious matter out of an adjoining jurisdiction out of Roseville. Show up on your court dates, okay?
I don't have a domestic violence case, ma'am. That's a non-trespassing.
Okay.
Karen,
Yeah.
I'm also showing he has 2 other civil infractions. What looks like upcoming, he has a show cause date coming up of February 12th on one of them.
Sir, to make it easier for you, Christy, pull all those pending ones. We're gonna put them all on March 9th for them.
Okay.
We'll bundle it together for you. So, Mr. Parker, I can't make this any easier for you than what the court's gonna do. I'm gonna take all of your cases and put them on March 9th. So it's imperative you zoom in on that March 9th court date. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck.
All right, thank you.
What's your last name? What's your last name?
Travis.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Travis.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. case number 21 EA 00545 Montez Lamar Travis. Sir, state your name for the record.
Montez Travis.
Counselor,
For the record, Julie Halewa on behalf of Mr. Travis. Your Honor, I did speak with him regarding the charges that are before the court. He understands that and the possible penalties. He'll waive formal reading, stand mute to the same. We did discuss his right to have an attorney. At this time, he's indicated he does want to hire an attorney. We also discussed his advice of rights, and I'll address bond when the court is ready.
all right, thank you. Sir, today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned as your arraignment attorney indicated. I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what potential penalties are. You are entitled to certain rights. You're entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, should you found guilty of these charges or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, Mr. Travis?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Detective, does he have any holds?
He does, Your Honor. He has one hold out of St. Clair Shores for the same offense.
Okay. Counselor, do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Travis is 32 years of age. He lives in the city of Detroit with his fiancée of about 3 years. He is working full-time at Drone God Cinema in Detroit and has been there for over a year. He did not believe he had any warrants, and he indicated that he was not on any probation or parole. I would ask that he be given a personal bond with the condition of not driving until he has a valid license.
Can you do a small nominal bond? Counselor?
I was asking for a personal bond with the condition of no driving, but I understand that the court's going to have concern with this being an older file and having other matters outstanding.
All right, Mr. Travis, I'm going to do a 2,500 cash surety, 10%. That is based off if you have an outstanding warrant from a local jurisdiction adjoining this jurisdiction. We're going to bring you back for a pretrial March 9th at 8 a.m. Sir, you still living on Rose Street in Detroit?
Yes.
You have a cell number, sir?
313-627-0031.
All right, sir. Should you be able to post, you'll get a new notice with Zoom instructions, okay? So it's imperative you show up on your date.
Okay, can you tell me that bond one more time?
2,500. 250.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
What's last name?
Leffert.
Stay right over here.
How you doing?
What's your name?
Daquan Leffert.
On case number 20 EA 04994, Daquan Deshaun Ledford, and case number 21 EA 00508, Daquan Deshaun Ledford. Sir, state your name for the record.
Daquan Deshaun Leffert.
Counselor?
Thank you, Your Honor. For the record, Julie Haley on behalf of Mr. Ledford as the arraignment attorney. I did speak with Mr. Ledford on both files and did explain to him the show cause matter and warrant on the 20 EA file, as well as the new charges on the 21 file. He understands that he'll waive formal reading, stand mute to the same. He is requesting court-appointed counsel, and we also did discuss his advice of rights. I'll just find when the court is ready.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ledford, today's your day and time set to be formally arraigned as your arraignment attorney indicated. I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what potential penalties are. You are entitled to certain rights. You are entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, if found guilty of these charges or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Detective, does he have any holds?
Yes, Your Honor. He has one hold out of Detroit for traffic.
Thank you. Counselor, you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Ledford is 19 years of age. He lives in the city of Detroit with his parents and his sisters. They've been in this home now for about a year and a half. He indicated that he's not currently employed due to COVID-19, but he's not receiving unemployment and indicated he is working on trying to get that. He's not on any probation or parole. I'm not sure that he knew about the hold in Detroit because he was not aware of any warrants being active. I would ask for a personal bond, or at least a nominal cash bond, based on the one file being an older file.
All right. On the newest file, 21 EA 00508, the court's going to do a small nominal bond of 2,500, cash surety 10%. That is basically as a one traffic warrant from another jurisdiction. An outstanding ticket still with this court. We're going to bring them back for a pretrial March 9th of this year at 8 a.m. And on the oldest file, 20 EA 04994, the current bond sits at 2,500, cash surety 10%. I will convert that to a $2,500 personal bond. He won't need to post anything. Mr. Ledford, are you still living at Regent in Detroit?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you have a cell number?
586-222-2239.
Okay. Sir, you got to show up on your court dates, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're all set.
Ready? So,
Originally, they came up for Friday.
What's last name?
Petty.
Pettis?
So what's your last name?
Pettis.
Pettis?
P-E-T-T. Yes.
I don't know, man. This year.
What's your first name?
Johanse.
Your Honor, it's Pettis, Pettis. First name Johans, Yohance.
He's got to come up Friday as well.
All right.
Go look on my desk here.
Hang on 1 minute. We don't have the, I don't have the ticket.
You stick to the drink? Party until 3 hours tonight? Nope. Got drinks in last week. So I can't get Friday because in court. So I'm sitting there in days that just. Shoot, I don't see your thing. It's not gonna get better. No.
Thank you. Calling case number 20 EA 04257. Johans Dwayne Ronald Pettis. Sir, state your name for the record.
Johanse Pettis.
Counselor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Julie Halib on behalf of Mr. Pettis. Your Honor, this is a bench warrant arraignment regarding a show cause matter. He failed to appear back in October, and he owes fines and costs on a no insurance ticket. I did speak with Mr. Pettis, and he has indicated that he'd be able to pay what's owed to the court, and then I would just suggest closing out the file.
So, Mr. Pettis, can you pay $160?
Yes, I can pay it. The only reason I wasn't able to pay it last time, I just woke up late. That's all it was.
You have another matter coming up?
Yes, I think it's the 4th. It was supposed to be the 4th. I'm not sure. Because they sent me, I had another court date that I missed, and that's why I got another one for the February 4th.
All right. So for case number 20 EA 04257, Counselor, he's going to plead guilty to the contempt charge then?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Pettis, you understand by pleading guilty, the court's not promising you anything and no one's threatening you to plead guilty to the contempt charge. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You also understand that you're waiving your right to have a hearing?
Hearing for
Contempt charge.
a contempt of,
It's a contempt of court on this no proof of insurance charge.
Okay, yes.
So you understand? You're pleading guilty,
Yeah.
no one's pressuring you to plead guilty?
Yes.
All right, the court will go ahead and accept the guilty plea on the contempt charge. The fine's gonna be $160. How long do you need to pay?
Just about probably two. I can pay it tomorrow.
Karen, are you waiving the warrant fee and the show cause fee?
Yes.
Okay, and then he's scheduled for a probation violation on a loitering on Friday.
Okay, so this Friday at 8:30, you need to be dialing into Zoom, sir, because you have a violation of probation on another ticket. Do you understand
And
that?
that's. And can I explain that?
No,
real
you
quick?
need to, no. That's for Friday. You need to be explaining why.
Okay. All right.
So I'm gonna give you till tomorrow to pay this. So now if you don't pay it, it's gonna catch you on Friday. Do you understand that?
No, I can pay that tomorrow.
Okay, you need to pay it before 4 p.m.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
What do you think's gonna happen if you don't pay it and you call in on Friday?
I don't know, but I'm gonna pay it though. So.
All right, well, I'm gonna advise you, it's gonna go back to a warrant. Do you understand that?
Okay.
All right, good luck.
Leslie?
Lewis.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Calling case number 18EA03379, Gary Alexander Lewis. Case number 18EA04918, Gary Alexander Lewis. Case number 20EA00521, Gary Alexander Lewis. Mr. Lewis, state your name for the record.
Gary Lewis.
Counselor?
Good afternoon. For the record, Julie Holyow on behalf of Mr. Lewis. Your Honor, I did speak with Mr. Lewis on both of the 2018 files, which are bench warrants and failure to appear and pay on tickets. And then I was not sure if he was previously named on the 2020 file, but I did explain to him what the charges are and the possible penalties. He'll waive formal reading, stand mute to the same. At this time, Your Honor, he is requesting court-appointed counsel. We also addressed his advice of rights, and I'll address bond when the court is ready.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lewis, today's your day and time set to be formally arraigned. And as your arraignment attorney indicated, I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what potential penalties are. You are entitled to certain rights. You are entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, if you're found guilty of these charges or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Detective, does he have any holds?
No, Your Honor.
Counselor, do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lewis is 34 years of age. He lives in the city of East Point with his mother and brother. They have been there for 5 years. He is working part-time for a staffing company. So he's currently employed at SAS Automotive, and he's been there for about a month and a half. As far as he indicated to me, no probation or parole or any warrants. So I would ask for a personal bond on the 2020 file, the newest file. And if the court is inclined to give a bond on the older files, I would ask for a national bond.
Christy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Does he have open bonds on case number ending in 521 and case number 918?
On 184918, I have a $100 open bond. And on 20 EA 00521, I have a $500 open bond.
Right. So on case number 20 EA 00521, I'm going to go ahead and continue the bond of 500. We're going to bring them back for a pretrial March 9th. at 8 a.m. And on ticket 18EA04918, I'm going to continue the $100 bond. Matter's going to be set for contempt. I am going to lump it all together on March 9th at 8. And then on case number 18EA03379, I'm going to let them go on a $2,500 personal bond. Matter will be set for contempt March 9th at 8 a.m. Are you still living on Melrose?
Yes.
You have a cell number?
Yes. 248-660-8071.
Right, sir, just show up on your court dates. Right?
Yes.
Because if you just show up, you wouldn't have all these multiple files.
Right.
And you live right in the city. So come on, show up on your court dates, okay?
All right.
All right, you have a good one. Good luck.
All right, thanks.
Mr. Gamble. Step in front of that screen here. Yeah, this is Mr. Gamble.
On case number 21-514, Detective, you're still under oath. If you could state the facts for me.
Yes, Your Honor. On 1/30/21, officers Rebar and Holder, along with Sergeant Hollish, responded to a report of a home invasion at 16476 Manchester. Upon arrival, resident Leslie Bladergruen stated that her child's father, Antonio Gamble, had opened her side door to her residence, walked downstairs, and stolen her 4-month-old puppy. Gamble was stopped by Officer Holder nearby, where the puppy was running alongside him. Gamble was arrested and was too heavily intoxicated to be processed. Gamble currently has a valid no bond arrest warrant for burglary, forced entry out of Third Circuit Court.
Court finds probable cause, sign the complaint and warrant. I do see the complaint is signed. Mr. Gamble, state your name.
Antonio Gamble.
Counselor?
Thank you, Your Honor. For the record, Julie Halewa on behalf of Mr. Gamble. Your Honor, I did speak with Mr. Gamble about the charges on the newest file, as well as he has an older file, a 20E03930 which is a I did speak with him about the charges on both files, as well as the possible penalties. He understands that and will waive formal reading, stand mute to the same. He's requesting for appointed counsel. We also discussed his advice of rights and his right to a preliminary exam. And I'll address bond when the court is ready.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gamble, today's your day and time set to be formally arraigned. As your arraignment attorney indicated, I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what potential penalties are. You are entitled to certain rights. You are entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. You're also entitled to have a probable cause conference you held within 21 days from today's date. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, should you found guilty of these charges or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, Mr. Gamble?
Yes.
Detective, other than the no bond out of Third Circuit, can you give me a rundown, please?
Yes, Your Honor. He also has a hold out of 37th District Court for disorderly conduct. Looking at Mr. Gamble's CCH, Your Honor, it's extensive, dates back to 2007. It includes a handful of domestic violence and assaultive crimes, in addition to larcenies and breaking and entering.
All right, thank you. Counselor, do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, Mr. Campbell is 29 years of age. He lives in Southfield with his mother and has been there now for about a couple months or so. He is not working due to he was involved in an accident, and he is working with a caseworker for Social Security disability. Your Honor, based on the fact that he has files, I would ask that there be a 10% revision on his bond.
Well, my only concern, Counselor, is he's got a no bond hold out of Third Circuit. So on 21-514, the court's going to do a 15,000 cash surety 10%. I am going to require a GPS tether from house arrest. We're going to bring him back for a probable cause conference February 16th at 1 p.m. And on the local charge, case number 20EA03930, we're going to bring him back for a pretrial March 9th at 8 a.m. A bond of 2,500 cash surety, 10% was set. I'm going to go ahead and continue that bond. That's based off of the latest charge, and he has a no bond hold. Mr. Gamble, I'm showing a Granville Avenue address. Is that not a right mailing address for you?
Well, no, it's not a good address for me anymore.
All right, so what's a good address for you?
I don't know the exact address by heart. I can give you a number to call to get that address.
No, I'm not going to make that call. How old are you?
I'm 29 years old.
And you don't know an address?
My mom just sold the Granville house, so I don't want, and we just moved. I don't know. We just moved to this other place. I don't remember the number by heart.
All right, well, on the newest file, 21-518, it's also going to be a condition of your bond. You have 72 hours to provide a proper mailing address. Mr. Gamble, due to the fact you have a hold out of Third Circuit in Wayne County, should you get moved from Macomb County Jail to Wayne County Jail, it is your responsibility to notify this jurisdiction where you're at so that we can do the appropriate paperwork to get you here to address these matters. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Going down the wrong road, Mr. Gamble. Good luck.
Karen, what was the bond on the felony matter?
Bond is 15,000 cash surety, 10% GPS tether through house arrest in 72 hours to provide an updated address.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, what's your last name?
Addie, A-D-D-Y.
For the record, Julie Hoyt is the arraignment attorney on behalf of Ms. Addy. Your Honor, I did discuss this case with Ms. Addy. She understands the charges and the possible penalties. She'll waive formal mute. She is requesting court-appointed counsel, and we did discuss her advice rights. At this time, Your Honor, I'll address bond when the court is ready.
I thank you. Calling case number 20-2018, Tamia Raquel Addy. Ma'am, state your name for the record.
Tamia Raquel Addy. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Ma'am, today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned. As your arraignment attorney indicated, I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses or what potential penalties are. However, you are entitled to certain rights. You are entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, found guilty of this charge or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Detective, does she have any holds?
To my knowledge, she does not. The file that I have in front of me, Your Honor, is dated, in which she had several holds, but this was back during her original arrest, during the original warrant period. Her CCH, she only has one conviction that's related to this offense, Your Honor, and that was back in 2014 for unarmed robbery.
Okay. Counselor, do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Addy is 23 years of age. She has a 3-year-old child. Lives in the city of Detroit with that daughter as well as her mother. She indicates that she just got out of jail on or about January 29th, so just a few days ago, from the Oakland County Jail for a retail fraud matter. She believes that she does have a bench warrant for a traffic matter out of Livonia, and she is currently on probation to Oakland County Circuit Court for the same matter that she just went to jail for. At this time, Your Honor, I know that she is facing a 1-year misdemeanor and is on probation. But this is an older file, so I'm not sure if this happened prior to the Oakland County matter. But I would ask for a personal bond or nominal cash bond.
We're just gonna do a nominal cash bond of $3,500, cash surety 10%. We're gonna bring her back for a pretrial, February 23rd. At 1 p.m. Ma'am, you still living on Roselawn in Detroit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have a cell number?
248 area code 943-6103.
All right, ma'am, should you be able to post a new Zoom notice will get mailed out? And for whatever reason, should you end up in another jurisdiction, it is your responsibility to notify us so that we can do the appropriate paperwork to get you here, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
250.
Jump check settlement.
Coats on them too. Okay.
Oh my God. I'm just letting go here. I'm just going.
No.
Ma'am, what's your last name?
Fox.
On case number 20-2286, Jacquette Reve Fox. Ma'am, state your name for the record.
Jaquette Reve Fox.
Counselor?
And good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Julie Haleo on behalf of Ms. Fox. Your Honor, I did discuss with Ms. Fox the charges there before the court and the possible penalty. She understands that she'll waive formal reading, stand mute to the same. I did discuss her right to have an attorney, and at this time, she is waiving the right to not only court-appointed counsel, but also retaining an attorney, and she would like to proceed by representing herself. I did discuss with her advice of rights, and then I'll just bond when the court is ready.
Thank you. Ms. Fox, today's your date and time set to be formally arraigned. As your arraignment attorney indicated, I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses are or what potential penalties are. You are entitled to certain rights. You are entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, if you're found guilty of this charge or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, Ms. Fox?
Yes, I do.
I just want to make sure I heard correctly from the arraignment attorney is that you want to represent yourself in this matter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
It isn't something I recommend due to the fact this is a jailable offense. Do you understand that?
Yes, I'll reconsider.
Do you want a court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
Okay, court will go ahead and give you a court-appointed attorney, ma'am. Those fees you won't have to reimburse back to the court, okay?
Okay.
Detective, does she have any holds?
No, Your Honor. She does not have any active holds, nor do I see any assaultive convictions.
And does the victim reside on the Nels address?
Hold on.
The victim does reside at 15225 Nels, Your Honor.
All right. Counselor, due to the fact she doesn't have any holds anywhere, the court will do a $5,000 personal bond. However, there'll be a no contact provision. She's not to have any direct or indirect with Bryant DeVault, DeVault. She's can't go back to 15225 Nels. Can't be within 1,000 feet of the residence and or victim. She's not to consume any alcohol, non-prescribed drugs. She's not to possess any weapons. That includes knives and bullets. She's not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's written permission. We're going to bring her back for a pretrial February 23rd at 1 p.m. Ma'am, do you have another mailing address that the court can mail your notices out to?
Yes.
And what would that be?
I'll just say it like.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I didn't hear you.
Do you have another address to where the court can mail your notices out to?
Yes.
And what would that be?
15929. It's going in and out. Is she asking me to do?
15929.
West 11 Mile Road, apartment 101, Southfield, Michigan 48076.
And do you have a telephone number, ma'am?
Yes, 734-444-2238.
Hey, ma'am, you just can't go back. If the court finds out in any way you violated any of the conditions, the court will revoke your bond and remand you into custody. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I haven't been back since that day.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
You just have a seat right here. All right, Your Honor, this should be the last one of the day. This is Miss
Grodnicki.
Grodnicki.
Thank you. Calling case number 21EA00539, Heather Bernice Grodnicki. Ma'am, can you state your name for the record?
Heather Bernice Grodnicki.
Counselor.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Julie Halewa on behalf of Ms. Grodnicki. Your Honor, I did speak with Ms. Grodnicki about the charges before the court. We understand that the way for reading and stand mute to the same. We did address her advice requesting court-appointed counsel. I'll address bond when the court is ready.
Thank you. Ma'am, today's your day and time set to be formally arraigned. As your arraignment attorney indicated, I'm not going to be reading out loud what the alleged offenses or what potential penalties are. You are entitled to certain rights. You are entitled to a bench trial, jury trial. If you want any witnesses subpoenaed on your behalf, the court will go ahead and subpoena those witnesses. You're also entitled to have an attorney present at all future hearing dates, as well as any time law enforcement wants to interview you regarding these matters. If you're out on bond, probation, or parole, found guilty of these charges or any lesser included offense, that can be deemed as a violation. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Detective, does she have any holds?
She does not, Your Honor. I don't see any recent convictions under CCH as well.
Okay, Counselor, do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Grodnicki is 47 years of age. She indicated that she suffers a spinal cord injury and receives Social Security disability. She lives in the city of East Point, and she was able to confirm that the complaining witness does not reside there, but she has no issue with a no contact order being in place. She has also indicated that she has never been in trouble before, no criminal history, and she said she doesn't even have a traffic matter. With that being said, I would ask for personal bond.
So Mr. Danny Smith does not reside at the Lambrook address, ma'am?
The issue was his son, as far as I was told.
Well, who's Danny Smith?
That is my boyfriend.
Okay, and where does he reside?
He resides in Warren on Martin, and he comes by the house sometimes. But as far as I was told,
No,
the
don't
issue
go
was
in.
with his-
No, stop. I just
Sorry.
asked a simple question. Detective, where are you showing Mr. Danny Smith's address to be out of?
Mr. Smith's registered address is at 24699 Lambrook, Your Honor.
Okay, well, that's going to be a problem then. The court will do a $5,000 personal bond. However, there's going to be a no contact provision. She's not to have any direct or indirect with Danny Smith. She can't return back to the 24699 Lambrook. She's not to be within 1,000 feet of the victim and or residence. She's not to consume any alcohol, non-prescribed drugs. She's not to possess any weapons. That includes knives and bullets. You're not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's written permission. We're going to bring you back for a pretrial March 9th at 8 a.m. Ma'am, you need to provide me another mailing address. Do you have another mailing address?
No, I do not.
Okay, it's going to be part of your bond conditions. You'll ask 72 hours to provide the court with a new mailing address.
Okay, I just don't have any contact information or anything. I don't have a telephone or nothing on me to
Okay,
do that.
I'm gonna give you 72 hours to call the court and provide a new mailing address. Now, ma'am, if the court finds out in any way you violated any of the conditions, your bond's gonna be revoked. You will be remanded into custody until the matter is concluded. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You'll get a one-time visit back to that address. It'll be on the police department's time. It'll only be for a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes. You'll just be able to bring out a small suitcase out of the house. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Does that mean I
have to have bond money to leave today?
That should be it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, see.
Thanks, Julie. She's gonna go back. I can tell on the body language. Now, who are these people in my? Got two people in. Hey, Christy. Christy.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yep. And what are you on a Zoom for today?
I was in a car accident while at work on December 4th, and it was a failure to yield. And I just wanted to kind of explain. I was in a work truck, and I just want to explain what happened.
All right, hang on 1 minute. Let me put you back. Hang on.
Okay.
Well, we're done with this. So hang on, let me go see. Well, I got people in my queue. I'm gonna go get something to drink. I got a sore throat from talking.
She was calling me. There's two people in the waiting room. She's not sure why they're in there. One guy said he was in there to explain he got into an accident while being at work. He hit a truck or hit something on December 31st. He wanted to explain. She just put it back.
I'll be back.
Do you think I should stay in here?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Just keep your office unlocked because God knows when I'm gonna get in there. It's been a nightmare with the salt on the police side.
Oh,
It
really?
took me 6 hours to clean over there. That's crazy.
Just like the floors?
Yeah, they have no carpet. It's all tile. So, and then as I'm cleaning, there's, you know,
They're
50 of them coming in and out. And it's just I'm like so frustrated.
That's crazy.
This is a lot for one person. I do the police, I do,
I guess I didn't realize you did the police department too.
oh yeah, I do them, I do this, I do the basement, I do
Downstairs.
the cells, I do all of them.
Yeah, why don't they have 2 people?
They did until they hired me, I guess. I don't know. Just figured I could do it, I guess. I don't know. All right. Anyway, so just keep it unlocked.
Okay.
I'm gonna admit case number 20 EA 05697.
Hi, Your Honor.
Hi. All right. So calling case number 20 EA 05697, Scott Douglas Sikorsky. Sir, state your name for the record.
Scott Douglas Sikorsky.
So the city attorneys reviewed your driving record, and this is what they can offer. They're willing to dismiss fail yield causing accident. They're willing to add a count of double parking, which is a no-point ticket. The fine on it's $160. You'd be given 2 weeks to pay. Do you want to accept that offer?
Yeah, there's no points and it doesn't go on insurance, correct?
Correct.
Perfect, yep.
Okay, and again, it's $160, 2 weeks to pay, okay?
Okay, will they send me a bill or do I go to the
Nope,
court?
you just need to get it in 2 weeks calendar dates.
Okay, all right.
Okay?
Perfect.
All right,
Thank
you have a
Your
good
Honor.
day. All right,
You too.
bye-bye. Then I have one more in here, Heather, iPhone. So I need a first and a last name.
Sharif Owens.
Calling case number 20 EA 05747, Sharif Hussan Owens. Sir, state your name for the record.
Sharif Hussan Owens.
So the city attorneys reviewed your driving record, and this is what they can offer you. They're willing to dismiss the speeding 11 to 15, add a count of double parking, which is a no-point ticket. The fine on that's $160. You'd be given 2 weeks to pay. Do you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand you'd be pleading responsible to the added count of double parking.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you have 2 weeks from today to pay, okay?
Thank you very much. You said 160, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep, have a good day.
You as well.
Bye-bye. The time is 3:46. No one is in the queue.